But it was one day, literally, I was like, I can't get it right. Like one day in September, I'm like, I done been through a bunch of stuff. I done been kicked out of apartments for no reason. They trying to take my car, my job ain't, my long-term relationship ain't right. I can't do this. And then I got this, my mind is just running. Like I can't sleep. I really can't eat. I wrote my mom a letter. I was crying I didn't answer no text from nobody. My son was at school. I wrote her a letter. I was like, basically, take care of my son. Mental health has been, I say in the last 5 years or so, mental health has been heavy for me. I have been, I was really, really, really tiny at first. You could see the effects that it was having on my physical. So I wasn't eating all the time because I'm like, okay, as long as I take care of my son, I'm good. But I was skipping meals, and then I was getting smaller and smaller, and then it took a strain on my relationships, personal, family, my job. I couldn't even really work the job because I had so much mentally going on that I did bottle up, like shit. Family things, losing my grandma, losing my dad that I didn't even get a chance to really know, losing him, and then the way I lost him, and it was just like, damn, you died before I could even repair the relationship or even tell my son who you are, or just, show him something else differently. And then all of that stuff I bottled up.
So he didn't help raise you, basically.
Nah.
But you were willing to make that thing.
I was willing. I was still stubborn. Like, you didn't take care of me, so I don't need to give you none of my time, when he was reaching out. But when when I had my son and he started showing interest in like, okay, well, what's my grandson's name and, his birthday and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, maybe some type of weird way through my son, we can form something, or we can form a bond, or they can form a bond. I would have been cool with that too. And I didn't get that chance because he died maybe 2.5 months, and I didn't even know that he had cancer.
How old was he?
In his 50s. He wasn't maybe
still pretty young.
Yeah. maybe 58 or so.
How do you think it affected you? What do you think it would have affected you? That ain't what I'm trying to say. Did it affect you more because he was trying to rebuild the relationship, or build the relationship, not even rebuild, build a relationship? So did it affect you more? Do you think had he never reached out, it would have affected you?
It would have affected me because it was bothering me for years anyway. And I'm such a bond type of girl. Like if I be in any type of relationship with you, personal, family, I always built the bond. And so to me, that's strong to me. Break that bond and things like that. So with him, I was still willing to, but it would have hurt me either way because it was such a great part of my life that I didn't even get to experience. So my other 3 siblings, they don't have the same daddy as me. So it's just me with that one dad, and they got their own. So that's different. And you know what I'm saying? You see, which their dad never treated me any different either.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's my daughter too, and stuff like that. But in my heart and soul, you know what I'm saying? It's really not. Like I got a whole other identity, that I didn't get to know, and I could see them, even to this day, it still bothers me because they have their dad, but I don't got that,
Did your mama try to keep you away from getting to know your dad?
Never.
She didn't like shit on him or none of that stuff?
Because even like maybe he came around when I was like 12, man. Popped back up at 14, and it was just something like that, like hit or miss. 18 popped up again and things like that. And he did say, oh, your mama did this and that, but my mama, she wasn't like that. That's what she wanted. She wanted her kids to be this is your dad, or this is the, even my siblings' dad, they was like, is she mine? And my mom was like, I wasn't gonna lie to him and say that she's yours when it wasn't, so.
What you feel like because you said that your stepdad was pretty present. He's pretty.
Yeah, give or take.
What do you feel like you missed out on not having that? What do you think he took away from you?
That guidance and that love and that, like, showing me really what men are capable of, really. So I could be like, oh, okay. And I not necessarily did it. I got to look for that in relationships, like personal relationships, no. But just showing me love, showing me guidance, and just really being there for his kid.
So did you fall into a lot of like trash relationships with dudes because of the absence of that guidance from a father?
Surprisingly, no.
Really?
Mm-mm.
You've had some pretty solid.
Yeah, I've had some. I've been in 2 serious relationships. So once when I was like, high school young, that's 4 years, and then more recently, 11 years. So that's the father of my son, and I'm pretty like, when I'm with you, let's see how we gonna ride this shit out. That's what I want to do, and sometimes it don't work out like that. But I can't go from man to man. I just can't do it. I don't need to go be like, oh, I'm feeling some type of way, so let me go to this man, and this one ain't doing right. Let me go to that one. I can't do that.
I wonder, like, because not having a father, not having that guidance, or not that everybody who has a father has the guidance of when it comes to relationships, but I wonder, like, in getting into a relationship and trying to build it and trying to grow in it, do you feel like what things do you feel like you're neglecting in a relationship when you have no picture of what it's supposed to be like?
Yeah, that's the unknown. Like I don't go in super blindly. I try to go in with love, or I try to go in with affirmation. I really want to know what I'm missing until it pops up.
Yeah.
Or a situation or disagreement, and I'll be like, is this it might circle my mind, is this because, but I really don't try to tie it too much into it. I think on that aspect, it's just more of a personal thing, like who gonna walk me down the aisle if I ever get married, who is going to, if I do have a daughter, and I would want her to see my dad in a positive light, or whatever the case may be. Or I wanted my son to see that too. I mean, he has a grandfather, of course, on his dad's side, but I wanted him to know the other side also. So it kind of is like personal things, family things that I think about more so than relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing you really want, though, marriage? Or is it at this point it's kind of like,
If it happens, cool.
Yeah.
But it ain't like I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna meet this guy. I gotta get married in the next 6 months. I gotta get married in the next year. No, I'm all about really just building a bond, because I feel like the bond gotta be bigger than the burden, because you will have a lot of burdens in relationships, but the bond gotta be bigger, because sometimes when the bond ain't as big, that's how the relationship go astray.
What you think is the most important thing when it comes to relationship? Relationship with anybody. It doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship.
Transparency.
Yeah.
Transparency. Be who you are, like through and through. Say what you feel, in hopes that you won't be judged for it or things like that. I think definitely transparency. Transparency leads to better communication. Communication leads to better trust and honesty. Because sometimes you get in relationships and you're like, oh, I really don't want to show this side of me to this person. I like this person, but I don't want to show that side to me, because they might not like that. But then you're not being transparent, and that's something else you got to bottle up and deal with.
My brother has told me, like, and not just him. A lot of people say, like, it can be too early to show them this or too early to show them that. What do you think about that? Like, is it certain things it's too early to show a person? Thinking you might run them off or they can't trust them
in
with
this
it?
day and age, no, just be who you are, because people be getting false expectations of people all the time. Be like, oh, this person is good, it's cool, they ain't got no record, they all good. Then
Yeah.
a year later, be like, oh, you did that, so false expectations, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was younger, like 14 or, super early 20s, but not right now.
Yeah.
You gotta, whatever you see that's what it is.
You're a writer.
Yeah.
A lot of writers are writing out their life or writing out a lot of things that they've seen or experienced or whatever. Where does your writing start? My
writing started simply really from a Mother's Day poem for my mom. That was where my writing started at. And just generic shit, telling her how much I love her, Happy Mother's Day, and things like that. And I sent that poem off. I was like 9 or 10. I wrote the letter, sent it off in the mail to Las Vegas. They wrote me back and was like, we want you to come out there. My mom said, we can't go to Las Vegas. We don't have no money to go to Las Vegas. So that's kind of where that started at.
Why you send it off? What made
it was a contest. It was a sorry, it was a writing contest. So I sent it out because I wanted to be in a writing contest. But they came back like, yeah, you one of the top people, and she read it and she was like, when did you do all of that? I done signed her name and everything at the bottom.
How you know how to do all that?
My grandma, watching her,
Who told you about the contest?
I read it in the paper.
Oh, you said you read it in the paper.
Yeah.
Okay. Your mama said y'all wasn't able to go?
We couldn't go. We didn't have the money. And so that kind of, I was like, oh, man, because they wanted to, per the letter, they wanted to honor me and be like, oh, you wrote this, that, or the other. We want to use your poem for this, that, or the other, but we could never go out there.
They never used it?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if they did.
How did that make you feel? Knowing, did you, because a lot of us play the blame game, not knowing what our parents are going through or whatever. So,
when she told me that, it's just like, okay, mama.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am. And that's how I am with her, really, to this day still. I don't have no argument.
Yeah.
You doing what you need to do. You took care of me. Okay. I ain't got nothing.
What does writing look like nowadays?
Writing looks like whatever path I'm on currently in life. So I have an abundance of writings. When I wrote the first book, so I say first of many, that kind of...
What's the title?
Mirrored Images.
Mirrored Images.
So when I wrote Mirrored Images, the title came to me back in 2018. And I was just sitting at work and I was like, I just was doodling. I just wrote that down. And I've been writing for it ever since. So when I just dropped it recently, I'm like, okay. But I knew I needed to touch on mental health. So I definitely wanted to write about that and write about my experience with mental health personally and how, don't let it get against the wall or put you against the wall. So, and I tell people all the time and they say, oh, I didn't know you were going through that, or, even my mom, she see me every day and she didn't know, but it was one day, literally, I was like, I can't get it right. Like one day in September, I'm like, I done been through a bunch of stuff. I done been kicked out of apartments for no reason. They trying to take my car, my job ain't, my long-term relationship ain't right. I can't do this. And then I got this, my mind is just running. Like I can't sleep. I really can't eat. I wrote my mom a letter. I was crying I didn't answer no text from nobody. My son was at school. I wrote her a letter. I was like, basically, take care of my son. He got to stay here with you. His home is here with you. I tried. I can't do it no more. So I had a slew of pills, for just different ailments. And I'm like, I'm about to take all of them. And this is what it is. So I just I wrote the letter, put it on her bed, and I was just sitting there for a long time, just sitting there crying. It's like I'm really struggling, and I've been trying to. I didn't call therapist office all around the city. That was like, oh, we got a waiting list, or what type of insurance you got. And so I said, I can't do it no more. And then all I heard was a knock at the door, like, do, 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 do. I'm like, oh, I'm talking about pills in hand, just a mess, right? And then I didn't answer it. Then it was the doorbell. And I found was like, let me, I hurry up, put the stuff, threw it to the side, closed my room door, and I went and answered the door. And it was my son's dad. He was like, you're not answering your phone. What's going on? So, face, I tried to, make myself as presentable as possible, but face was all teared up, and I just kind of brushed it off too. I brushed it off. I said, oh, I'm just upset about something or the other. But for real, him coming by, that saved me that day.
What made you answer the door though? Because if we're gonna do it, it's like fuck that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What were you holding on to make you answer the door? You get what I'm saying? That makes sense?
It does make sense. It's just a split decision. So on one hand, I have all these thoughts running through. I'm talking about do it. You better off,
Yeah.
Then on the other side, I'm like, no, you gotta, you want to be a writer. You got your son at school. You got to pick him up in 2 hours. So it was like devil and the angel, and they both jumping. And I think in that split second, I was like, let me not. And then that's kind of it. And then the next day, I just went hard. I was like, I got to find a therapist. I got to find somewhere because I need some help, like ASAP.
Did you tell him exactly what it was after he knocked out on the door? Y'all talked it out? So you never shared it with him?
Nah.
He still don't know to this day?
Well, he will if he looks.
Right. That's it.
But no, no, I never. I kind of just brushed it off, and I bottled it up, and I pinned it on something else so I could, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody to be like, oh, well, she's incompetent. She can't take care of her kid either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. You can't take my baby.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be here, you can't take my baby.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like you can't get my son. You know what I'm saying? And I take damn good care of him. Not just like, oh, he dressed nice and things like that. No, I'm really raising him and instilling, things inside of him. So that was just something I had to push to the side, or felt I had to at that time, so I wouldn't be judged. Or she was like, I'm gonna get my son. I didn't want that either. Things like that.
How long before you found a therapist?
It was maybe another month, but I was calling for months on end. I'm like going through going through the EAP, going through that.
Yeah. And
then they give you their little 5-6 sessions, and then they be like, okay, well, we finna wrap it up. And that wasn't enough. Like I need long term so I can figure this stuff out, or I am going, I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, because I was wondering what kept you from crashing out between time, because you had the episode and then he saved you, but still there's all this time in between.
Every day I kept calling. Like if I was on the job, I kept calling every day, or even pulling up to places to see if they have openings or available therapists. And it was just, I found one and it was like, yeah, come on in.
Mm-hmm. How do you know when you have the right therapist though?
Because how I'm healing. how I'm able to look at things. So if a situation arises and if I'm not on 10 right away, and I can really sit back and analyze it and make the best decision, as opposed to, oh, this shit about to be over, if
Yeah.
the situation happened, it's about to go left. So definitely on how I'm healing.
Did you say your book was out during this time, or Mirrored Images was about to come, or you was writing in it?
I was steadily writing it.
Okay.
Yep.
So when it came out, when you finally got it
Yeah.
done, when it's like, did you feel that sense of, okay?
Yeah, I was just sitting there, just breathing, on Amazon or KDB Publishing. You just push submit, and then they take it from there. And then I was like, dang, this took a minute, because I had many little pieces of notebook papers all folded up from 2018, and I put them all together to make that one piece.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was happy about it, because I'm like, okay, this is what I needed to say. And the things I needed to touch on, like life, grief, from losing people close to you and how it can affect you, and success and all of that. I needed to get that out.
Explain Mirrored Images, the title.
So Mirrored Images came from me really looking in the mirror many, 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 many days.
I like that title.
And I was just like, I'm not good enough. I'm losing weight. I can't push the shit out that I want to, writing wise. I'm failing my son. And it's just many different images of myself that was like, okay, is that really you? Or is it another type of image too? So when I did start healing, I'm like, all right, it's different. I look different. So I can get in that same mirror and be like, you look good. Your mental is good.
Mm-hmm.
Your son is thriving. So, Mirrored Images, like literally, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's really just me in that mirror in all them bad days or good days.
So when you writing a book, of course, I know we all do certain things because we love to do it, or we like to do it, but you do want, what is success of a book to you? Before I even ask that.
Shit, success of a book to me really was me publishing it.
Okay.
I can't get no more. So it's not, it's never going to be about how many people buy it or whatever type of reviews it's get. It's really about my craft. So if I done got through all of that and some more shit and then pushed it and still was able to publish something like on my own. Mm-hmm. Like I had to be my own editor. I had to create my own cover. I had to do all of that, and life's still moving on too, and I still have mentally challenging days also. But I was like, I gotta push this out, and that's kind of how I am with my writing.
But here's the thing, because even when I do like music and stuff, like my main thing was like, man, I just want something out there. Like, I just want to know I put it on the platform, but with the potential of it being heard or something, because I feel like I'm saying something. If you're going to publish, a book, you want some attention towards it, right? Because or else you'll keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know all the things that you went through. So now we got it published, though.
Yeah.
You still go through these things in your head mentally. You still trying to fix on yourself or whatever. What if the numbers ain't, like, what if it's not touching nobody? What if nobody has, like, grabbed it? What does that look like?
Nothing. It don't look like nothing to me. Because it in my mind, and I really do, I am really like this, is my mantra. It's always me versus me. I don't have nothing to where I'd be like, okay, if it's gonna flop or anything like that, it's always gonna be me versus me. So if I put that out there, I was like, okay, I see it. It's tangible enough to me, so it's out there for me. Yeah. And it's substance enough. So if you're gonna fuck with it, good. Do that. And something in there will probably resonate with you because, it's mental health, it's life, it's love, it's grief. That's okay, but it's also okay if it don't. But that's still for me. That's gonna be with everything I put out.
Because I always admire, because when I'm on Instagram, just like anybody else,
Yeah.
you know, you got these people that you consistently see they stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But you'll notice like, damn, they don't get no attention towards this, no likes, nothing, but they're still posting. They're not like the rest of the world who get discouraged. Well, it doesn't seem like they're getting discouraged because
Yeah.
they keep posting.
Yeah.
So I always admired that. I'm like, damn, that, because I got a few of them on my timeline. I'd be like, damn, that's dope. You don't even seem to be worried because you posting the same type of content
You can't
every
worry.
day, no matter how many likes or views you
Right.
get. And I think that's dope to be able to do that.
I think, yeah, and it's, I mean, for real, it's social media.
Yeah.
You can make it be whatever you could be a fairy in social media if you want to, or a space ranger or whatever. You could be anything in social media, but if it feels good to you, like across all my social media platforms, they use for different purposes. Like I can go on my TikTok. I think one of my poetry videos is at 15 or 16,000 views, and as opposed to maybe being on Facebook and it's at, you know, like 100. So I really don't. I'm pretty strategic in what I like to post because that's for me.
How has social media served you for your mental though? And I'm not talking about your particular post or your book or anything. I'm talking about like, you know, we read some people post and we be like, nigga, what? Nigga, or you're posting in the comments
like,
under.
Shut your ass about
Yeah, comments. Like how has throughout the years how has that served for your mental health?
Social media, you know, it's been a distraction sometimes. I ain't gonna even lie, because you just sitting there and you scrolling and then you like, oh, you get caught up like, oh, what's going on? And sometimes you be like, what the fuck am I doing? Am I not doing enough? Or am I doing too much? Or and then it could be, you could fall into a depression too. Because if you see life moving on around you, you be like, oh, I'm not doing enough. And so I think as sometimes that has hit me a little bit, they'd be like, okay, I got to get off of here. So I didn't left it like a year and a half. And then I came back. I was like, when I come back, I'm coming back with something for me. And so that's
sort of like a fast, like
yeah, just to kind of clear my mind and, you know, do something else. I don't want to just be sitting down scrolling. Or if I'm in the same room as my son and he just, you know, playing on his game, or we're in the same room, but we ain't really spending no time. I didn't want to let it consume me because social media.
What is not doing enough for you though? Like, cause I'm wondering what exactly are you looking at to be like, how them and not me? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, why I'm not doing enough.
It could be anything, and you know, just being honest, it be like, oh damn, you got another car, you got a house,
yeah,
you're 24, you got a house, some shit like that, and just being, you know, just being honest, and then you scrolling down, and you be like, oh, it could be the little shit. Oh, you got a tattoo? I want a tattoo. I might not even want a tattoo. You know what I'm saying? But you might see it and be like, funny. Damn, you got a tattoo. Like, yeah, I was thinking about getting one. That's how sometimes social media can program you, and it can put a damper on your mental, and you could be like, I ain't doing enough. Let me go get a house, a car that I can't pay for, you know what I'm saying, and a tattoo. Yeah. All because social media, and then you think life is really moving like that for them. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I was like, nah, the grass is never green like that for people. They only put what they want you to see, and that's for them. But it don't be green like that.
Meditation. Are you a meditator or something? Because how do you take a break from it, then come back? A lot of us take a break from it, come back to it, and we still the same. Like, nah, that shit's still bothering me, dog.
But you know what? That's growth. At least you can go and come back and be like, you know, that's like if you go into the store, be like, I got this list. And you go out the store, you go home, and then you see something on TV, like, oh, I did need some popcorn. Going back to the store.
Got it.
So, I mean, I had to really get focused. I'm pretty disciplined too. Then that's the same thing people say. How can you not eat meat? Everybody in your family eat meat. Or I'm like, I'm pretty mentally disciplined after being so mentally fragile. I think in some type of form or fashion that being so mentally fragile at that time has grown and conditioned me to be like, okay, maybe you don't need. So I was like, last year, I'm like, I'm done eating meat. I was just sitting at the table eating a chicken wing, and I just looked at it. I said, I can't do it no more. And so I'm about to come up on a year of not eating.
That's fire.
Thank you. And I feel it ain't easy because they knew me in Gates by name. Like I could just walk in and they'd be like, slab light on the sauce. And that's it. Like
Yo, did was that one of the things though? One of the moments like, damn, these niggas know my order. I gotta stop.
It was so much. Like they came in, they said, "Did you want the sprinkles on the fries?" I said, "Damn, let me get in the door." I left my card outside. It was like, and now when I come in, niggas just look at me and they be like, "You want the sprinkles on your vegetables?" And I still get the slab because I give it my son, my mom, and things like that. But just they know it's different now. But for a long time, they was like, I already got your order at Gates, at Jay's, Church's Chicken on Prospect. Everybody knew they.
Oh, you on 12th Street, cuz? What you doing?
The Prospect out here. It's like 7.
Oh, I thought you was talking about because when you say Gates and then say Church's.
I know what you.
You down there?
No.
This era, just talking to you right now and thinking with it, this era is much harder to get away from things because if you turn off the TV, you still got commercials everywhere.
Right, it's in your face.
So it's right in your face. So to be able to get away from meat,
right,
like that, and so you got TV commercials. You got on your phone. If I say chicken, it pop up.
Yeah.
I say I don't want to eat beef no more. It's just gonna pop up on your phone like some mouth-watering something.
Angus beef.
And Angus sounds so good for some reason.
The fucking cheese just hanging on the side, and you like, damn, do I want some Burger King? I ate Burger King in fucking 15 years, but for some reason I want this Whopper. And that's why I said I had to let it go because I'm like, I needed something, you know what I'm saying? I wanted something different and I wanted to have more natural energy. I wanted to tap into that. That's the same thing with celibacy. That's in your face. Sex is everywhere. Over-sexualizing or under-sexualizing men and women is everywhere. And that's another thing I took a step from. And it'll be a year. And people be like, I don't believe you. You're celibate. You're this. They be like, oh, you're a Scorpio. All different types of things I get hit with. I think, and I let them know, I said, because you're over-sexualizing me doesn't mean that I am like that.
That's hard.
So, and mentally, sometimes after even a sexual act or having sex or whatever, I don't feel good. And it's, to me, I want to feel like something, you know what I'm saying? Not just like, oh, you got to have sex to get to the point of orgasm. No, I want to feel empowered. I want to feel whole. I want to feel good.
Yeah, yeah.
So some of them times I'm like, and it wasn't even the partner. It's like, I fucked up. Because I went against my own morals. Like, I didn't even really want to do this. And if it don't have no substance to it for me, I feel down about myself. So that's another thing I took a step back from.
Damn, like what you just said made me think of it because I listened to this battle rapper named A-Verb. I don't want to just put battle rapper on him. But that's what he's mainly known for. But he went vegan. When he went vegan, his rhyming changed, his raps changed, the way he approached things weren't so aggressive or whatever. And he said, man, what you put in you, what you consume is like how you're gonna act. So you eat a chicken is running for his life when they about to get, so the last thing that chicken remembers is about to get his life taken. So
Right.
if you eating chicken, you probably gonna be scared. If you eating this, you're gonna be like, you're gonna
Yeah.
act as if these animals act or whatever. So connecting that to sexual energy, when people talk about the people you sleep with, you
Yeah.
inherit their
You
their
do.
traumas and all of that stuff.
I think so. I
That
would
makes
agree
sense.
with it. And so that's why I said, and especially if we are already, say for instance, if we are already traumatic to each other, why would we have sex and then we be more traumatic to each other? So what the act itself, it just ain't, it wasn't wholesome enough, because then I would feel battered on my own morals, like, you shouldn't have did that, like that's not even, your heart even wasn't in that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to lead with my heart, not because my mind could be like, okay, anybody's mind be like, sleep with this person, sleep with that person. But even people that be sleeping around like that, when they be by themselves, they don't feel whole.
Yeah.
They just, that's like it's a defense tactic. They be like, I feel good because I got X amount of men or X amount of women. That's not what that is.
Yeah.
So they we all gotta get there.
You said something interesting before we started. We were talking about like where you putting your energy at as far as like the spaces you put yourself in.
Yeah.
Where rather there's a lot of this smoking and drinking going on over here, or a lot of like not that you were going against these people. You're not against smoking and drinking.
Yeah.
A lot of twerk energy going
Right.
on over here, gangster shit going on
Right.
over here. But then you said I listened to what some of your favorite people were, and give me a minute, y'all. Maxwell,
it's top two right here. Maxwell and Rich the Fact.
Rich the Fact. See, I'm trying to make this make sense.
I know. And people, when I say that, people be like, huh? Like how? Maxwell will always be number one. Nice, calm, low key. I don't know if you ever seen them in concert, but the vibe is unmatched. I've seen him, and this man then performed all his hits, and he got in the crowd, and then he went to go change into some pajamas, and then started drinking wine, and came in the crowd and sat in the crowd and sang. So you can't get no, like, I love Maxwell. Then on the other hand, you got Rich the Factor. I've been like, if you know me, I'm gonna play some Rich all the time, especially on Saturdays. I call it Rich Saturdays. And Rich the Factor is really motivating for me. Like, his catalog is crazy. He didn't put out so many different CDs, got so many different songs or different collabs, but he's intentional about who he collabs with or what he does. And it's just like he got that gritter mindset. And for Rich, it's like, for me, like, go harder, keep going.
Dope connection. But what's the other connection to him? Like, because do you connect to the lyric? Because could you, as a writer,
definitely connect to the lyrics, because in those lyrics, and I mean, he talk about some gangster shit, which is cool, but if you really listen to it, Rich be talking about getting to the next phase. He always talking about what else he need to do.
Mm-hmm.
How else is he gonna go harder? And so when people say, you really listen to Rich, I think at first I was like, oh, maybe you doing it because I've been listening to Rich for a long time, since Peach Cobbler, since Black Border Brothers. Yeah, so I'm real tied in, because I just like the way he moving. He remind me of like Unc, like that's Unc, like he cool, like pass me a plate or something like that. He just low key like that, and I like that.
I bet he would love. I bet it'd be refreshing to hear that about his music, like that connection. Like, because I'm not talking about the dopeness. A lot of people say dope.
Yeah.
But your breakdown of it is much different than a lot of what you take from it is much different than a lot of people take from what a lot of people take from it. And as an artist, you want that perspective to be seen. Like, this is. No, I meant that too. I'm glad you find somebody gets it.
Yeah.
You want somebody to get it, and to hear you say, I don't even know if he would feel that way, but I know me as an artist. If some people are taking my music this way,
Right.
cool, but you don't get it.
Exactly.
And you get that, and that was my same thing with Jay-Z. People will say like, this nigga just be talking over. He ain't from the street. I said he talked the same. I always compared him to Rich. I said he say the same thing Rich be saying, but in a different way, maybe more of an elegant way or something like that.
You gotta have that ear.
Yeah,
and I think that's how I am. I'm really professional too, but I'm definitely street too. And I'm right there. You gotta have that ear, and I'm always blast Rich. Or support him, or of course he from the town too. And I think people, Tech is cool. I don't have no problem with Tech.
great performer.
Awesome. He had that energy. But when it comes to two of them, it's gonna be Rich all day for me. Because he like really can lose it all and get it back. Or he speak to the people that really got to get it out the mud. So if you're going through something, like that's how I was. I was mentally really struggling before I even got to a point to where I was like, oh, I need a therapist. I was listening to Rich. That's what's helping me get through the day. That was what's helping me continue writing. And so, yeah, I got a CD in my car right now. Got 180 Rich songs on it. So it just run.
Do you catch chills when you hear something that connects to your life?
Yeah.
I do.
Yep. I'd be like, oh, you speaking to me.
Yeah.
You talking to me. And then sometimes you be like, oh, I got to get moving.
Yeah.
I got to do something, because it can either, you can feel a little antsy, and sometimes feeling antsy or anxious can be good, because that means that, you're alive. That means it's something that's deep in you that you need to push.
Yeah. You thought you was going to get away. That's my camera. She thought she was going to get away. You got my old crush following you on Instagram, and I just noticed it. Well, I ain't going to put no date on it. But, yeah, I had seen it. I'm like, wait, Erica? Clicked on it like... Because the reason I clicked on it, because certain people have fake names and stuff like that,
right?
And I follow her already, so when I clicked on it, it said following. I'm like, oh snaps!
Yeah.
How you get my dog following you?
Maxine Ride the Maverick.
Oh yeah, let's make it clear. Maxine from Living Singles, because I don't know if y'all know who she is.
So she is
Cosby's.
Yeah, she is such a philanthropist. She is such a pillar for us. She do a lot of behind the scenes things for African Americans, a lot of different productions, and she sheds light on things that people necessarily don't talk about, like sex trafficking. She's really heavy into that and putting the stories of the victims out in a light that we all need to understand and be aware of too. And so I followed her, of course. And then I'm a strong believer in, if you want something or you want to work with somebody, keep reaching out to them. Mm-hmm. So I have been reaching out to her maybe for the last year. I want to work with you. It would be an honor. It would be an honor, and or liking the things that resonated with me with her. And then one day she just started commenting back, and I'm like, oh, is she really saying something? I had to go and switch it to another pair of glasses to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that I was seeing. Because I was seeing something. I'm like, okay, she really... And so I was inboxing her still, and, of course, went unnoticed. Till one day I got an inbox back. And she was like, where are you from? And, basically what about myself? So I couldn't type fast enough, Kansas City, I'm writing and things, yada, yada, yada. And she said, that's good. It's a pivotal thing for women to be doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh, she really talking to me. Then the next day, I seen the follow. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm real happy about that. So that means she's paying attention. And still to this day, maybe like last week, she was debuting some Black authors on her page and she was going live. And then I put my book down there and she was like, okay, I'll check it out. So I want to be around like-minded individuals so I can learn from them, whether they be celebrities or not. I want to be around like-minded individuals because I'm still in the process of getting molded. I know that, they put that age cap like, oh, you 18, you grown, 21, you legal, you should know better by 25. Nah, people gotta be coachable and at any age.
Any age.
Any age. So you taught me to walk when I was 10, 11 months to a year. I want to do something else. Who else can teach me something? Who can teach me how to fly a kite? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that might come at 50. You never know. So that's...
I got a booger in my nose. I feel like this must be this gray. But it always bothers me. Oh, it bothers me now because I'm guilty of it too in the past. When people say, "You don't know this? You don't know this yet? How do you don't know that?" Mm-hmm. Like, bro, we all still grown. Like, you learned this at a different age than I did. Mm-hmm. I'm learning it now. What does it matter if I don't? Can you help me? Yeah. Can you help me with this instead of like coming down on? And this is why we can't advance as people. Exactly. Because people are coming down on people versus like, you make them feel shitty for not knowing shit. Exactly. You know?
Or they'll argue down about it too. Mm-hmm. And that will make people retract. That you'll be somewhere just quiet, low key, because you don't want to say something that's the wrong thing, and then you'll get the trajectory like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Or you can make yourself feel small. And I've done that. Even in school, I would sit in the back of the class, whether I could see or not. Yeah. I just didn't want don't call on me, don't do nothing, don't look my way, pass me, please. With I'll take the C, but I don't want to don't call on me or.
That was one of the worst things about me.
We graduated though, right?
Yeah, but my attitude was a little different and I'm ashamed of it, but I've grown. I'm just saying, like, as far as the teachers asking me questions, and it even went all the way up until I started working when I was working at that place that I work at. Okay. I remember a person, but I used to hate when people ask me questions in a room full of people knowing I'm shy, knowing I don't want to ask. Now I want to fight. Yeah. Because you're trying to embarrass me, I feel like. And I remember it being like, I was in a freshman class with juniors and seniors and some nice looking women and stuff like that, like grown-er looking women. You're trying to embarrass me in front of these women.
And you got to stand up.
Yeah, I got kicked out of class.
All that. Like, I don't like that either.
I know the answer is just...
Yeah, I don't want to say it right now because everybody going to be looking at me. And, even though I have performed some of my pieces aloud in front of people, it just depends. You can still probably hear my voice creaking for sure if I'm not in a comfortable setting. And people be like, well, you did so well here as opposed to here. Like, they be like, oh, you can't keep that going. I said, not all the time, because it's different. If it's a different vibe or different energies in there, and you read the room, and if it's off and you still got to push yourself, like, it ain't going to come out the way you want it to. Yeah. And people be like, I just don't get it. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's the reality of things. And so that's why I say I try to go where I'm comfortable at. Yeah. Like, that's what I was saying before. Like, I done been invited out to different shows, different podcasts, or different types of panels. But if I'm not going to be cool mentally, or if it don't even sound good, or if the vibe is off and I get too anxious, it's not going to be good for me mentally, because I'm going to be looking around, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't going to be cool. Yeah. So
I always, like, got to commend public speakers and stuff, because I haven't done it yet. Not saying I won't be able to do it. Like people have asked me to be on panels and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, why you want me? Like, not that I'm not honored that you
Right.
pick me, but it's like I don't know if I'm able to. You know what I'm saying? Do
We
that.
talk that down into ourselves real quick, didn't we?
I just had to recently come out of doing that kind of stuff because I may be called to serve there, and you just gotta. You gotta come up out of your shell. You have to get comfortable in being uncomfortable in order to move in purpose a lot of the time.
Definitely, but it's kind of maybe we just use it as our wall, like one of our protectors. Like when people be like, "Oh, you can come and do X, Y, Z," be like, you couldn't get nobody else, or maybe I probably don't feel like I don't know what I'm gonna be doing at that day. You know, things like that. A lot of people talk themselves out of things that they are good for, but they can't come out of the shell, or maybe they get too antsy about stuff. And I'm still kind of I'm working on it, but I'm like that too. That's like if I pull up to a place and it's a little bit too packed, I'm gonna have to. I'm leaving.
I feel you.
If you got there, if you and 15 other niggas got there before I did, and then y'all just all in there. So when I get in there, it's like either eyes on me or it's a bunch going. I gotta go. I can't stay here. I won't even go in the store, the gas station, if it's 15 cars outside and everybody just standing there. I'm like, damn, do I really need that donut stick out of here? I probably don't, So I won't, and that's just me. I would leave in a minute. At first, I'm like, get yourself together. You grown. I used to have to pep talk myself into going into places. And I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have to pep talk myself. Maybe it's a reason. So let me just exit real quick. And people be like, I seen you pull up. I said, yeah. They said, you left, didn't you? Yeah. A lot going on.
We got to do better.
We're working on it.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm still like as much growth as I have grown.
Yeah.
I still struggle with because I would do exactly what you just said. It's like, or I'll go in there. Like recently, it was they had a podcast convention, and I want to show my support.
Yeah.
But I'll go in there. I don't have a problem with talking to people. Yeah. I just don't like feeling like I'm bothering people or jumping in people's space or whatever. So I'll go in there and stay in the back or whatever. I just want to be there to support and see what's going on, and then I'll make my way out. I'm even so bad still in my life. I've gotten better at coming in and speaking to people.
Yeah.
Like coming into places like smaller places. Yeah. Like if it's a room like this and it's like a lot of people in it, I'm going to speak. I'm not going to be like trash, but you won't see me exit.
Exactly.
I'm just going to leave.
I think that's just a part of who we are. Like, I don't want to, and I got to leave at the right time. So in my mind, I'm already calculating like, you know what? Right after he get done doing that presentation, not right after, but I'm gonna give him like 2 minutes and I'm just gonna walk out. I can't tell you bye. I'm gonna holler at you later. I probably gonna send you a message, but I can't do no salutations like that. And I just be out. And then when I get in my car and I get back in my space, it's always like, but I'm working on it.
I'm working on it too. I'm gonna get better soon.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I ain't as trash as I used to be. I'm a little more cleaner.
Maybe it wasn't trash. Maybe it was just like you learning yourself, you growing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we be hard on ourselves a lot.
Well, especially with me doing this, it's definitely something I need to overcome. Yeah. Because you never know who needs your light or what light you need. So if you're walking away from that thing, you might have missed something or missed blessing somebody.
Right.
Miss your blessing or miss blessing somebody.
Yeah.
I heard something real dope coming over here, and it just lines up with damn near everything we've been talking about from Pastor Darius Daniels. I think he was saying, I ain't going to get it right, but he said, don't get so caught up in doing well for that thing that you don't do well for yourself. Mm. Like, don't get so caught up in doing well in the writing that you're not caught up in making sure you're okay. So making sure everything's okay with business, even though that's your purpose or whatever purpose you are. Don't get so caught up in making sure the purpose is right that you ain't making sure that you right too.
Yeah.
I said that's hard.
And what's so crazy, I just read a thing and it's really the same thing. It says they see you with the nice house, the nice car, the career, and they assume that everything is fine, and they say, "Oh, you're doing well," but nobody ever asks if you're happy. And that's Heath Ledger.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that's hard.
And so he battled too.
That's why he's
Exactly.
yeah. And he got one of the dopest roles ever.
The dopest. I
always tell people that though, and then I'm gonna let you close out. Like Bang, Joker, Thanos. If you really listen to them, they're not bad people.
They rich, the factor of the.
They really think what they're doing is helping,
right?
Not fucking shit up. They just don't.
Right.
They just have a messed up way of going about it. But you know, would you like to close us out with some words?
You know, I am incredibly thankful for this platform. I'm thankful for what you're doing. I feel like a lot of people in the city needs this. They don't have like I said, it's a lot going on in the city. It's a lot of similarities, but they don't have a nice, calm area to where they can be vulnerable. They can speak their truth. So my thing for you all is just please keep doing it. But don't forget to be putting yourself in it too. Don't get too caught up in, oh, I got to get this guest, this, and put this out. Don't forget to put yourself into your craft.
That's a word.
Then we're going to pray. And then we're going to leave it there. Heavenly Father, thank you so very much for this Sunday. Thank you for the greeting of these souls, God. Please continue to love us, protect us, empower us in ways that we feel that we are lacking, Lord. Please continue to protect the ones around us. Give us guidance and give them guidance through you. In Jesus' name, I so humbly pray and thank you. Amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. The goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and their hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That